Hello YouTubers, Novascorvis here and welcome to the episode 1 of the Road to Metroid Switch. Now as you may know, last night at midnight was the official Europe release of the Nintendo Switch. Now the Nintendo Switch, formerly known as the Nintendo NX, is Nintendo's latest console and it's been in development for the past 4 or 5 years. It's basically like an upgraded Wii U. It's like the Wii U gamepad mixed with like the mobility of the 3DS with Wii style controllers. Now, at first glance, yes, the console is pretty cool and pretty awesome and stuff, but like when you're sitting there with it, like I haven't played it, but I've seen people with it and I've been thinking about it myself. It doesn't really feel like a Nintendo console because the way you can take the controllers off and stuff. Because I remember expecting back when I was first doing new Metroid info and I was talking about the Nintendo NX, I remember thinking that it would be a Wii style console, just be a big box and that you have controllers and play with, but it's more than that. You can take it off the dock and carry it around with you, and it's gonna be, whether you like it or not, it's gonna be here for the next 4 to 6 years, possibly 8 if it does really well. The lineup of games first are Nintendo have put out hardly any games for us. It's mostly third party games. Nintendo have put out The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is also released on the Wii U. They've put out Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I think that's also with the Wii U. I might be wrong there. And then there's Super Mario Odyssey, which I'm really looking forward to. That's coming out in around November, December, winter anyway. But as you know, there's been really no announcement of a Metroid game. However, Retro Studios did have this thing up that they were developing a new game, because no one's heard anything from them since the release of Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and I believe that was 2014. And someone asked, are they getting a new Metroid game? And then Retro responded, but with a picture of a few pieces of prime steak. I believe there was 4 pictures. So obviously, two together, Prime and 4, and people think Metroid Prime 4. But we don't know. Some people think it's a joke. I kind of thought it was a teaser announcement, but I'm starting to have doubts now. Nintendo did say that a Metroid game would be a release title for the Switch, and as we've seen, it isn't. But they did say, Reggie did say that to come back to him in a year and they'd probably have something. And so my guess is, and I'm probably going to hold off on getting the Nintendo Switch till June, because as you know, the first week of June is E3 2017, and they've E3 every year, they announce games. Like, I imagine if there's a Metroid game coming out, it's coming out mid next year. Like, they'll probably say it'll be out in March, but it probably won't be out till mid 2018. Plus, I imagine if Retro are working on another Metroid Prime game, it may not be a new game, it could just be a remastered version of the Metroid Prime trilogy. Because they remastered it on the Wii U as well. And I think you get the 3DS Nintendo eShop, but I'm probably wrong there. But anyway, that's really all the info we got on a new Metroid game, and there really isn't much to speculate. Like, the last Metroid Prime game, main game, was Metroid Prime 3 Corruption 2007, and then they released the Metroid Prime Trilogy in 2009 on the Nintendo Wii, and that was just all the Prime games on one disc on the Wii, and it was really awesome having all those games, the first 2 games remastered from the Nintendo GameCube onto the Nintendo Wii. And of course there was Metroid Other M in 2010, original online. And the next any bit of info we got on a Metroid game was in like 2014, I think. They said that they were working on a DS Metroid game, but it got cancelled because they were doing Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon. And then on 2015, of course, at E3 2015, they announced Metroid Prime Federation Force for Nintendo 3DS, which got vicious backlash at first when it came out. Like, everyone hated it. That's right there, everyone hated it at first. The fans were saying it was nothing like a Metroid game. The graphics were awful. It's because you don't play Samus or anything. It's on a Metroid game, and I always knew it would be a good game because I just loved the look of it. Like I didn't like the chibi design and the mech suits, which I actually thought were Galactic Federation troopers. But I loved the HUD design of it, and I loved cycling through the different Ox ammo and stuff. But it turned out to be a great game, and a lot of people got onto it really quickly and loved it. Now there were still a few fans who won't talk about the game because that's how much they hate it. But that came out. That was supposed to come out in like March 13th, 2016, but it came out in like September 15th, 2016. Came out in mid September anyway, and then that was really it. That's really all we've gotten from Metroid since then. Like I imagine there would have to be a Nintendo game on the Switch, sorry, a Metroid game on the Switch, because the last time they released a full Metroid game on a console was in 2010 with Other M, and that's if they're releasing another game, which will be next year, that will be 8 years. So, I'm guessing they were meant to develop one on the Wii U. Everyone thought they would, but it looks like they were pushing it off until the NX. And plus, if Retro are developing another Metroid Prime, they've done nothing since 2014. So they had 2015, 2016, and this year. Now, if it's coming out next year, they probably start concept arts and everything in 2015 instead of actually developing it around mid last year. So yeah, that's really it we have on a Metroid game for the Nintendo Switch. There's not really solid at the moment. Now, there is a few good games coming out on Nintendo Switch, I'll say. Metroid aside and Mario aside, I really like 1-2 Switch. A lot of people are skeptical about it, but I like it mainly because of the sword fights. That's the reason I want to get it, because obviously, I like doing like the lightsaber duels and stuff and like swinging stuff around. And plus, it's fun since you actually feel like the vibration of when you get hit. So I can imagine me and like Partesian Nemesis or me and Plasma Chief just running around with the Joy-Cons just walloping each other, and it makes a sword clang and you can feel it as well. It's awesome. So I'm going to get it for that reason. I don't know if I'll get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There doesn't really seem to be anything new. I'll probably wait till there is a new Mario Kart for the Switch. And of course, there hasn't been a Super Smash Bros. Game announced either, because I believe Smash Bros. The latest one came out like 2015, I think. Like, the launch titles are very poor from Nintendo. Like, there's a lot of other games that some people want to buy. Like, there's Minecraft Story Mode. There's what else is there? There's Skyrim and FIFA and loads of other games coming out for it. And I believe there's a Transformers game coming out if I remember correctly. I might be wrong there, but I'd expect there probably would be anyway. Yeah, I actually have nearly €300 saved up. I was originally saving to get another 3DS because my R button is broken, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, so it makes it hard to play Metroid and a few other games that I love on the Nintendo 3DS. So it just how coincidentally happened that Nintendo Switch was coming out this time of year. I was thinking, oh, I'll go for that instead because it's a new Nintendo console. But now I'm kind of thinking about it now. I'm like, should I get another 3DS? Because there's a lot more games on a 3DS that I like. Or should I get Nintendo Switch, which would mostly be multiplayer games? I mean, yeah, Breath of the Wild is going to be, like, everyone's going to be locked in a room for like 6 months playing that. I'll admit I'm intrigued. I'm not a huge fan of the Zelda franchise. Like, if a good Zelda game comes out, I'll play it. Like, and I'll probably play this since I did not like Hyrule Warriors at all. Oh, that to me, that was just a big no. I actually liked Skyward Sword, despite what a lot of people think as well. So yeah, we've rambled on for nearly 10 minutes already. Damn. So I'm going to wrap it up there. There really isn't anything else. I'm not sure how frequently these videos will go up, these vlogs. It really depends on when and how often we get Metroid info. if we are getting any more info, probably won't be for a few months, or probably won't be till E3. But maybe for the next few episodes, I'll just do like theory videos and how a Metroid game would play on the Switch. I was going to do that in this video, but I think now I'll save that for the next one, assuming I remember. So yeah, that's it for episode 1, or part 1 of the road to Metroid Switch. Hope you all enjoyed, and let me know in the comments below. Are you getting a Nintendo Switch? What games you getting first? Is there any upcoming games you're hyped for on Nintendo Switch? And if you're getting it, if you're not, if so, why not? So yeah, that's it for now. Thank you all for watching, and please subscribe. No scores out.